Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in, folks. How you doing on this amazing, fine, beautiful Thursday on the network? Hitting them all. Not missing the Anchor Baby today. Hitting all the shows today, and I see y'all coming in. Appreciate that from Joel's chat there. Welcome, guys. Miami Nick, you think? Maybe? I perked up there. My homeland. As an American, it's a pleasure, folks, to be back. Thank you for understanding yesterday. I spent a little time with the familia. In fact, you may have even seen them on the air on the Jesse Lee Peterson show yesterday. If you missed it, you want to check it out. I mean, I don't really have, there's nothing to really play-by-play here for you. You got to see it. It's a perfect episode, perfect segment. And you meet my sisters and my mom. My mom, who will not obey, she is not a submissive woman, she says. But unless it's the right man. And now she believes she can pick the right man. Right on. But check it out. It was fun. It was great to see him. It was perfect. They talked about anger and obeying. That's not a word. It's a tough word. It's a tough word. It's a little bit of a tough word, a little bit. Maybe that whole dog thing has I saw someone say this. So thank you for letting me steal this. Maybe this whole dog thing has got the ladies psyoped. Obey? You mean like a dog? You mean like my little dog that I bought, that I tell to sit? You've been psyoped. Wait, my family loves dogs. It was fun. You're talking about the leopard print in the chat. You got to check it out, okay? Coyote Anchor Baby. Obey. What does that mean? But what do you mean by obey? It was great. Check it out. I'll stop myself from play-by-playing it and ruining it. But we definitely had more conversation about that afterwards. Obey and all that. It's a tough word for the ladies, maybe. It could be a tough word for the men too. They may not have the same problem with the definition of it. What do you mean by obey? Well, listen means you do what I say. You mean like a dog, like a slave? You always got to caveat it. I thought you loved me. I thought you wanted to follow me. You wanted to marry me. But I think guys can have a difficulty with that word too. Not with the definition, so to speak, but with the spirit of it all. Isn't that the crux? The spirit of it all. It's funny to see my family too talk to Jesse on air, off the air. And, this is for those who this is obvious to. If you watch the show enough and pay attention, this is obvious. But, it's definitely clear to my family when they met him in person. They're like, man, Jesse's like, I'm just using their words. This guy's like all love. This guy's, we get it, Nick. I don't know what they get, but we were talking about it. It was nice. They're like, man, Nick, I want to come back. I like what you're doing out here. I'm like, right on. Anyways, it was nice having them, but it was funny to see them talk to Jesse and kind of like the eyes light up on some of the topics that I've mentioned, you know? And because, you know, you want to mention it, you want to see the truth and all that, but you're discovering it yourself, and that's where the difficulty for the men comes in. And it's like what it is for a lot of people who want to work on themselves, get better, and they go out and learn, and they get learned. You want to tell people. But anyways, they said the conversations were helpful, so maybe I wasn't thumping too hard. I could see their faces sometimes be confused, and I just knew to just work on myself and just keep doing that. And it's interesting, you know, I'm not saying that I did such a deep thing, but this is kind of if you allow me to ramble, just one more moment, and you can call me in 888-775. We're going to get into some stuff here about a little bit about what was I saying here about coming at things with the wrong spirit. That's what I was saying, right? Jeez. Just seeing them what I'm saying here, yeah, this is what I was saying, to keep the faith in a sense that is not about who you affect outwards, the impact. You got to tell people the truth. You gotta say the right thing. People just don't get it. You gotta tell them the right verse, tell them the right Bible verse, tell them the right thing. You gotta be it. You gotta live it. Okay, folks, appreciate you being here. You're rolling in. I see you in the chat. How you doing? I got my mods here. What's up, Carver? How you doing, cuz? That's a new name, Megan. How you doing, folks? So, Anchor Baby's back Thursday. We will be back tomorrow. I'm here with you. Friday, we get taking that flight. You don't want to miss it. 4 p.m. Pacific time is kind of when we take off here. So don't miss it. Subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment if you got something to say, positive or negative. So I actually do see a call. And I want to get into some, there's this pier that the U.S. is building to allow delivery of humanitarian aid to Gaza. And there's a couple of interesting things in conflict here with Biden, America. Do you love the Palestinians or not? I'm a little confused here. I don't see strength anywhere. I see a lot of, I don't know what to say. And it kind of is perfectly demonstrated with this pier. So we'll get into that, but you could call me as well, 888-775-3773. In the spirit of showing love to the calls, I got Pombo, I believe. Pombo out of Germany, first-time caller on the American Anchor Baby Show. Thank you, sir. You're on the air.
Yes, hello, Nick. Nice to talk to you. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
I wanted to ask you about tattoos and people who put on tattoos and earrings and piercings. So the way I see it is, if they are doing it right now and they are tattooing themselves right now, it's an act in the fallen state. Do you think having them already is being in a fallen state, or is it more doing the tattoo right now the part of the fallen state?
It sounded like you were saying the same thing. What's the difference between the two you just said?
So having the tattoo on the skin.
Okay.
Is this even fallen state? So everybody who has the tattoo is in the fallen state, or the people who are having the tattoo right now, getting tattooed right now?
If I may make it clear, are you describing the difference between the act of getting the tattoo and the desire of getting the tattoo, as opposed to having the tattoo itself?
Yes. So the person who has the tattoo, is he in a fallen state automatically?
I'll just put it like this. I think we all kind of know somehow that, and this is why the tattoo people kind of get into this too. We all kind of know in some way, shape, or form, we sort of believe, or we've been taught, or we feel that you shouldn't judge. Like, the outside doesn't mean who you are inside. And just because I have it, right?
Yes.
And that's how kind of people get into it and all that, I notice. So to answer your question about is a tattoo. Having a tattoo is the fallen state. I can't say it is. It's a tattoo. It's a tattoo. So just
Yes, I wouldn't say either. I would also say it's not fallen state, but it would be fallen state if I go right now and tattoo myself in this moment right now.
if you like wanted to go and do that. I just noticed another thing too growing up. You know, you hear about tattoos and piercings, and maybe it's a thing that's old in cultures, and then you see even really old, like 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 type people. They'll have like piercings, they'll have gauges, you seen this stuff where they get these piercings nowadays, and they stretch their ears out. They call them gauges and all that stuff.
They look like Satan.
You know, you can maybe draw a line across culture and them all using different things. But I'm trying to get at is that it's all like a cultural thing. It seems shallow. And I've always noticed that growing up, people around me were just fitting an image. Like I'm this is just punk or goth. Or, I don't know. They're just fitting an image. And you're getting these piercings and all that. There's a cultural component there. But I mean, I always maybe didn't even know it fully, but it seemed controlled. It seemed shallow. Like I'm following something. And I did that too, but I just could never go as far as piercing myself and all that. I could never go that far.
But wouldn't you say that if I go now to tattoo myself, isn't it like the same act as if I'm smoking right now a cigarette or if I'm smoking pot? Because all these acts are the same way wrong. So nobody should go and smoke pot, and nobody should tattoo himself. So the act, doing it right now, I see it as fallen state.
I think so, man, because people aren't really thinking about it. Like, who really wants to put something on themselves for life like that? It's a strange thing. How do I put it? It's a strange thing when you really think about it.
And I realize most women
it's lower class than people think. It's not artsy. It's not, you know what I mean? You don't put like what do they say? You don't put decals and stickers on a really nice Corvette. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, what else about this? It's just,
I realized,
you know, the distinction I'm trying to make
statement
between the act, I guess, and, the tattoo. Because let's say you meet someone who has a tattoo, that's all it is. You just meet someone with a tattoo. You don't really know. It does give you a clue, though. It does give you a clue. It's like you look like someone who likes to destroy their body. Is that true?
Yes, and they want to make a statement. Mostly women do it because they hate their father, and because they hate their father so much, they want to show the father that they are rebellious and they can do whatever they want. Because mostly fathers would never accept a tattoo or the daughter smoking pot or cigarettes. But they do it as an act to be the opposition to her father. That's why they all wear like leggings clothes and leggings tight clothes and showing all their body, because they know their father wouldn't accept it. But exactly because of that, they do it. And that's why I think the modern civilization does all these harmful things as tattoos and whatever. I wouldn't judge him if somebody has the tattoo right now. I wouldn't say he's an evil person, because maybe he already overcame. But having it right now, so if I see people right now in the street smoking pot, I don't know, could we say it's a judgment? If we say already they are evil, if we see them smoking pot, could we say they are evil? Because it's an evil act, I think.
But what's evil about it?
Because it's not right. It's wrong.
What makes it wrong? We're talking, I guess, now about smoking pot and the things you mentioned.
It's like a natural feeling. We already know.
What makes that person wrong? Sorry?
It's like we know homosexuality is not right automatically. We don't have an explanation because it's in our knowledge that God gave us. We know it's wrong. So the same way we know it's wrong to put a tattoo.
Okay, but we're talking about now when you're out in public and you see someone. Now I understand. I don't want to be ignorant or deny this innateness, so to speak, when you operate in the world. But Now we're talking about going around and seeing people in your life, in your daily life, looking at them doing stuff like smoking pot and saying that person is evil. Well, if you're going to go around doing that, shouldn't you know why? Shouldn't you know, if you're going to go around judging the world and saying that person's evil for doing this thing, shouldn't you know why they're evil? And you should be able to explain to me. So again, why is smoking pot evil?
It's exactly as evil as we know that homosexuality is evil, because we recognize homosexuality and we need to say that it's evil. We cannot say that it's good, because if we say it's good, we support it.
The reason
we say it's evil, but we don't hate them for it. It's like
here's why it's important,
though. The people smoking pot.
But here's why it's important to know why it's evil in this case, because if you're going to go around judging who's evil, you're gonna want to be really careful here, because look, how do you know that you're not evil, right? Because that's what matters here. How do you know that you're not evil? Because I'm not trying to be ignorant here. Like, so what? You're saying you could smoke pot? We're agreeing here that there's something wrong, and something doesn't look right about these tattoos. Something doesn't seem right about this smoking pot. But again, if we're gonna go around calling people evil, how do you know you're not? So I would like to know why that person got to that point.
You mean how?
So,
but isn't that
why
that the intellect? If we are trying to explain now how that person and all this past, the past that doesn't exist of the person.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to be intellectual. Did I cut you off? Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I finished my.
It doesn't necessarily have to be intellectual. Not necessarily, because I'm not trying to figure out what happened in the past of this person. I'm not trying to figure out what they did exactly and all that. And not that we should. Let me talk about myself. I'm not trying to find out why I'm evil because what I did and all that, and going to the past and try to figure it out. I just want to know, and I don't even know if you believe this far, I guess. It's just I want to know what influences me to do these things, because I don't want to. I've already figured that out. I don't want to. So if I'm going to go around, looking at the pot smoker and say, this person's evil, and I'm just going to talk about myself, and I know that there's this influencing force that influences people to do evil, and I know I do that, and I don't want to. Do you understand where I'm getting at here? Like, I don't want to go around calling people evil like that if I don't know why. If I know why, if I know that this person's being influenced, then I can see that in myself, then I'm saying that with some awareness. But
we're not saying he is evil. We are saying it's evil. It's the spirit of.
I heard you say he's evil for smoking pot. And you call it an evil act. You call it an evil act.
It's the influence of Satan which controls him, which makes him do it. So it's evil.
I understand that. I understand you, sir.
If he smokes pot, he's evil automatically, because he is evil. Like the mothers are evil for screwing up the kids.
I think I understand you. I mean, like anyone who'd be reaching out to for comfort and to cope with that evil and that pain and all that's evil. What we're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, sure. I guess you're right.
So you agree? You agree? It's okay that we point out if things are evil and not evil.
Well, okay. Now your question is it okay if we should point it out? Why do you want to go around pointing it out?
Just so that people know.
Are you pointing out the pot, or are you pointing out what we just talked about? The spirit, the anger that causes you to do these things.
I'm not saying the person, he is Satan himself, but automatically he is Satan because it's the spirit in him. It's his God. And automatically he sees himself as
totally,
Satan.
Pombo. And through this conversation, where you've explained yourself that you're talking about the spirit and the inner, I've understood you. And in this conversation, it sounds like that makes sense, man. And I can't disagree with you there. Further on here, you're saying, is it okay to go around calling it out? You know, I just ask you, I maybe you sense some apprehension, because think about what you just told me. Well, Nick, it's Satan in you, da-da-da. Now I'm imagining you, Pombo, in Germany, walking around in Germany, going up to someone saying, it's Satan. He's looking at someone with some pot saying, that's Satan in you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Pombo, you're not. I highly doubt you're going to help that person, but I don't want to judge, right? Unless you're doing it in the right spirit.
No, I would never react to anybody. We shouldn't react to nothing that Satan does.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are killing themselves, we shouldn't react. If people are applauding and be happy and cheerful and dancing, we shouldn't react. We shouldn't react at anything.
That makes so much sense.
we shouldn't react. So, but we should know that it's not right. That's what I'm telling. If we see that the guy is smoking pot, we should know that it's not right automatically.
That's interesting, man. Yeah, I think it's easy to go around accepting stuff too when you're unaware. Pombo, appreciate that, man. Is there anything else you want to say real quick before we move the wheels?
That's all. Thank you very, very much, and have a nice day.
Right on. Call me again.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, my friend. See you. Bye.
Oops. He was said bye once more, and I cut him off. 888-775-3773. Very cool. From Germany. That's pretty cool. Calls from Germany. Okay. 888-775-3773. Nick wasn't with Familia yesterday. He was in Tijuana doing a pickup. There was some people in the chat. They're like, when's Nick going to defend his dad, his honor? He's stuck on that Tapatio bottle. Sorry. Okay. Floating piers. Speaking of muelles, we're going international. 888-775-3773. I see calls coming in. A little patience here. Here's what's on my mind a little bit. Gaza. Who loves the Palestinians? They say they love them. They say they need to go. They say many things. But not even the Arabs love them. And they're real bullies. And I don't know how much the world could take any more of this bullying. Some are unhappy. I'm laughing because some are unhappy with the bullying of others. Some are unhappy with the bullying of the Israel and our government. So we're going to talk about some of this bullying. But first, how are you going to stand up to any bullies? How are you going to stand up to any bullies, anything at all, and deal with life, deal with emotional people, deal with all sorts of things if you're scared? And this is just how the anchor baby's seeing this. This is just how the anchor baby's seeing this. Check this out. CNN, we're starting with the floating pier. What looks like to be a marvel of military technology. You know I like that. Seeing operations here. We're looking at what's called JLOTS. Okay? Joint Logistics Over the Shore System. And I'm gonna show you the snazzy system here in a second. But the news is basically the U.S. has built a floating pier that will allow delivery of humanitarian aid. And just like it sounds, it's a giant pier built in the middle of the ocean in a sort of Tetris Lego-style building configuration that was floated into the beach, now anchored in Gaza after some previous complications, etc. And this floating pier will have trucks driving in and all that. It's now anchored from the sea. It has been anchored to a beach in Gaza, according to U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM. And that's going down, okay? They're giving the Palestinians, they're giving the people of Gaza aid. And this has been a ongoing thing. And, I say ongoing because it's been a little difficult considering different things here, okay? Israel's blockade of certain areas, Egypt even. So let's get into this. U.S. aid timeline. There's a little bit of a timeline. But the U.S. has pulled out every stop here. It seems like that, right? This is how the anchor baby see it. They go out and they build this big pier. They gotta wheel it in. They float it in from the beach in this operation, and like CNN says, which will allow the U.S. and their allies to deliver this aid to Gaza. So it's difficult for the allies as well, clearly. CNN talking about all the challenges along the way. So it's quite difficult. They had to do this, bring it into the beach directly, because they had to go around certain areas. That becomes clear. CNN reports the same. But you got to wonder, what areas do they go around? The surrounding areas are Israel, Egypt, Syria, and Iran, and the Arab countries that support the Palestinians, so to speak. As they say, we don't want to take the Palestinian refugees because they need to keep their land. They're already taking the land. Arabs, the Arab world. Maybe you could have said that, before October. But they're taking the land's going. What are you going to do with the people you love? I thought you love them. Okay. So they're pulling out the stops here. And it's just what the anchor baby's like interested in. It's like, who really loves them? Who really is about what they're saying? They're saying they love the Palestinians, but, you know, Biden's been wishy-washy. He's got top-level Biden administration members who've been quite clear about what they want to do and what they want seen done over there, at least alluded to it. Egypt's strict. Everyone's strict. So who loves these Palestinians? It seems like everyone's just playing tug of war. And it's not about what they say. You get it. Okay, let me get into this. You need to see this pier first, I think. You need to see this, I think. I think this is how we're going to do this first. U.S. military's construction of a huge pier. Pulling it up. Pulling down the volume. Check this out. Wait, hold on. Here.
How will military assets help get aid to Gaza by sea? Aid deliveries will be shipped on civilian vessels from the port of Larnaca in Cyprus.
Cyprus?
Which will become a main relief hub.
Didn't I just have... I don't want to dox. U.S. military's construction. Let's go.
Cyprus, which will become a main relief hub. These will deliver the aid to a floating offshore pontoon placed well clear of the Gaza coast and the conflict zone for transfer to joint or Navy support vessels, known as logistic support vessels or LSVs. These will take the aid to a 500-metre floating pier under construction by US military engineers and called the Joint Logistics Over the Shore or JLOT system. It's been described as a huge Lego-like system with interlocking 40-foot-long pieces of steel that form a pier and causeway of up to 1,800 feet. This will allow aid to be offloaded onto trucks and taken into Gaza for distribution. A UK naval support vessel, the Royal Fleet Auxiliary ship Cardigan Bay, is supporting the US military as it builds the temporary pier, providing accommodation for hundreds of US sailors and soldiers. Stuart Rumble, Forces News.
So pretty involved, you know, it seems like they had to really make it work to get that aid over there. Okay. Boom.
Thanks for...
Beautiful. So where was I? Awesome military. I love military operations. I love LSVs. They say it's a big fight, though. The UN is saying... They're saying everyone's blaming each other. Like, no, it's your fault that they're not getting the aid. It's your fault, Israel. It's your fault, the UN. It's your fault. That's what they're saying, okay? 💂💄💂💂💂, a UN humanitarian coordinator, said the responsibility is for the occupying power when it comes to providing humanitarian assistance for starving Palestinians, and it only ends when aid reaches the civilians in Gaza. Imagine the UN. The UN is not like evil UN, shall we? Shall we borrow a term? Imagine the UN here trying to tell the world. They're humanitarian coordinators. But, okay, they're saying occupying power when it comes to the UN. That just means a country who has taken other land with military force. Okay, so that's what they're classifying an occupying power is. They're saying it's their responsibility to give them aid. But I guess you can't make them. And what's interesting to me is this crossroads of politics and public opinion and PR. You want the guys, you want the people who are mad at the people who attack them, and they're dealing with this war, and you're like, no, but you got to do it like this, and you got to save them. You got to. Anyways, you get it. Nobody wants a out of control, anything out of control, a genocide, they say, but the people using those words aren't these trustworthy people and these noble saints. Okay, so UN, that's what's going on with the UN and aid. They're blaming each other. They're saying it's Israel's responsibility, and they're not doing it. UN official overseeing relief efforts in Gaza said aid access has not improved, according to them. distribution in Gaza was difficult due to the security vacuum and delays due to Israeli checkpoints. Well, security vacuum. Yeah, it's a little bit of war going on, but they're trying their best. And they brought this pier and they floated it in despite Egypt's restrictions in Rafah. You know, they have that border and they control that a lot. Israel's restrictions. Let me pull that up. USA timeout. I just want to say it. I'm getting it from. I am getting it from 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 and the CNN article I'm reading on these. So, on these claimed challenges. Okay. Urgent needs. Here it is. The blockades. Israel maintains a stringent blockade on Gaza, controlling land, air, and sea access, and the Rafah border crossing Egypt is strictly maintained as well. Okay. So it's hard. It's difficult to help the Palestinians, all the people that say they love them, right? They're blaming each other. And so they're blaming each other. You got top-level Biden people. Let me pull that up. What a mess. These you have top-level members of the Biden administration and their support for Israel's actions here. On their, according to CNN here, President Biden has consistently affirmed Israel's right to self-defense. Although criticizing Israel's bombardment of Gaza, but maintaining Israel has a right to defend itself. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, defense.gov. Blinken has been vocal about Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas. Blinken calls for human, there's, and then there's the wishy-washy with the humanitarian pauses, etc. And then they got to do all this work to bring in this bridge. All I'm saying here is they're navigating this difficult thing. Approval ratings, for example, for Biden has been negatively impacted by their support for Israel and all that. So it's been difficult for them to navigate all this. They got to even bring in the bridge and all that. So it's a mess. It's seemingly this political mess that the Biden administration has to navigate really puts on display the change in people, the change in the people, the demographics, their makeup, where they came from. Okay, you get it? The young American generation of today says, we will not identify with suspect genocidal tendencies against an indigenous people. And that took some time to train. That took some time to train, and whatever you may think of that, wherever you land and disagree, agree, there's this change, and they're duking it out. Look at this. You need to see this. This is what we're getting to. UCLA student protests. I know you're aware of them. CNN has this report. CNN Investigates has this report unmasking counter-protesters who attacked UCLA's pro-Palestine encampment. Let me show you some footage here, and then we can get to calls. 888-775-3773. I want to get to you. Check it out. They're duking it out. Look. And the youth, like I said, the young American generation. And where better to demonstrate this than on campuses and education centers and all that of America? This change. Let me show you here. And how radical they feel about it. Look at them. Check it out. UCLA.
This is the worst violence of any of the ongoing college protests. UCLA, where counter-protesters used sticks and boards against a pro-Palestine encampment. It was more than 3 hours of unrestrained violence the night of April 30th that led to injuries and bloody scenes as campus security and law enforcement allowed it to continue.
You know, she's talking about law enforcement allowing it to continue. And I think this video is super low or something. I have it blasted right now. I hope it's loud enough for you to hear. She's saying, look at the scenes. Violent, bloody, And according to her, that campus police just let it go. Just let it go on. But I got to say, you know, I remember going to Santa Monica, the promenade or whatever. Promenade? And I remember filming these Black Lives Matter riots. And I remember seeing the cops stand way back and just allow it to go on. And there was smashing, looting. The things I didn't see were like real like conflict between people and violence. And I felt like I remember getting the vibe that was quickly stamped out, but that's just anecdotal. Interesting though. It's a political fight. It's tribal fight. Seemingly, this is the Anchor Baby's impression here. It's seemingly tribal fights. Riots for my group, but not for thee. And if I have the power in the media or otherwise to paint this picture and have a one-sided violent protest for political reasons, then they will. You understand? We're using maybe even outdated terms here. I'm going to take that back. I'm being ignorant. The left, and their shock troops and Black Lives Matter and all that. But I guess here, anyways, the students duking it out. I'm rambling a little bit. Where are we? Let's watch the video.
They were there spraying. They were there.
I'm just saying that cops holding back seems to be a little bit of a common theme. Okay.
Against a pro-Palestine encampment. It was more than 3 hours of unrestrained violence the night of April 30th that led to injuries and bloody scenes as campus security and law enforcement allowed it to continue.
They were there spraying, they were there pulling barriers, and they were there to very clearly do some serious harm to the students who were on campus.
When you look at the counter-protesters, how many of them were UCLA students?
I would say basically none of them.
Who are the most aggressive offenders? A CNN investigation.
Outsiders left UCLA protesters beaten and bloody is what this lower third says here.
Of hundreds of videos from multiple sources shows many of them are outsiders, not UCLA students. Among the people who showed up that night, far-right with no apparent connection to the Middle East war, others driven by real beliefs.
What's going on with this video here? Maybe it's encoded weird, sorry.
Among them, this man. He strikes a pro-Palestine protester with a long white pole.
Those are some nasty strikes.
He's part of a mob that pummels the man as he falls to the ground. Without his mask, we see who he is. 18-year-old Idan On of Beverly Hills, a senior at a local high school.
Come inside to the kitchen. How do I get inside?
I spoke with his mother.
Hi there. Are you Sharon?
They found his mom.
Hi, let me introduce us.
She did not want to be on camera, but quickly identified her son from this picture at UCLA that night. She described in detail how her son found the mask and pole on the ground and said he was defending himself in this fight. On her Facebook page, Idan On's mother posted and circled a screen grab of her son from a local TV station. She wrote in Hebrew, Idan went to bully the Palestinian students in the tents at UCLA. Idan's mother and father proudly support Israel and defended their son's actions at UCLA, saying he is heading to Israel to...
What the? What's going on?
The IDF. After our interview, she texted to say
I think this video is like corrupted
at
from
UCLA.
Okay, so they got like youngins, they're like all into it. Look, they want to go fight for the IDF. Hey, for all the people who are like, well, if you care so much, go out there and fight. It looks like he wants to. But look how into this they are. They're ready to duke it out. There's people who are not even students there. I don't know if anyone expected this, I guess. I wonder if the schools are, I don't know how to put it, I guess. But there's been a change. It came from the schools. It's been happening for a long time. This change in people. And you're not going to be protected out here. If you think you're right, if you think, whatever you think, you're not going to be protected out here. Obviously, physically, and this violence and all that's I guess you're out there for a cause. You're putting yourself in danger. That's one thing. But you believe you should put yourself in danger. Look, you're not going to be protected. You think you're out there fighting for, especially if you're white, American, pro-America and all that. You're not going to be protected out there. Not from the media. If you say the wrong thing and you come off racist or something, you see that kid, I don't know how old he is, that student doing the monkey noises at the large black lady at one of these protests. You're not going to be protected out there. Okay, so what else did I want to say about this? Let's finish this and get to calls.
I have permission to record me.
💂💊 was wearing the same jacket he had on in the video from UCLA. He's a Los Angeles resident, age 42, seen at a 2022 pro-Trump protest outside the Los Angeles FBI office. He did not want to explain why he's on video doing this.
See, this is what I mean.
Rude, and I'm going to call the police if you don't leave.
Sure.
This is what I mean. I'm really just alley-ooping this the little piece of advice Jesse had for America and the world. Some time ago, when everyone went, for example, to the Capitol, do not be angry. This is why you must overcome anger, or you will become a pawn. You will be used. You think you're going to be out there fighting for the right thing. They're just going to use you for the wrong thing. You must overcome anger. I mean, I'm just telling you. I'm just pointing you there, like telling you what I heard, and alley-ooping that little piece of advice with some evidence here. If January 6th wasn't evidence enough for you, on all that.
Okay. We identified not just 𒒏💊💂💂, but other.
Look, they identify them. They got their faces.
Men who have no appearance.
We got their names and faces.
Affiliation with UCLA. I mean, you've seen them at how many other events?
Lots of different.
Far right, and you get it. Let's see. Let's get to calls. How about it? 888-775-3773. I do appreciate you holding. Let's get right to it. Why not? Why not, huh? What else about this? Campus unrest. Maybe I could talk to Frederick here, and we can maybe flesh out what we're thinking here. Sir, you're on the air. Appreciate your call.
What's going on, Nick?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's just, I was up there. I sent you the drone footage for you to play it.
I think you did. I can't quite remember. It was some time ago. Did you send it by phone, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight to you.
I forget where it was.
Yeah, but, you could have had your own footage, and you could have got... I got to get facial recognition. I like what they doing.
You could do that? You like what they're doing where?
With the facial recognition. She somehow got his face and found out who he was or something. You know what I'm saying? Or, I don't know. So.
War has this effect in advancing technology. It has this thing that happens. I heard they're using that a lot, actually, in Ukraine and in Israel. AI technology. You could do that with drones? You could, add that to your drone?
I don't know. I'm about to look into it.
Cool.
Because my footage caught a lot of, faces. You know what I'm saying? So if something would have went down, I might have had some footage that could have helped them,
Could have helped.
But I don't know.
Could have helped who?
The police, anybody, you know what I'm saying?
What'd you see? Because you've been seeing a lot of this UCLA stuff, huh?
Yeah.
In your estimation, what's it like? I guess what's even my question? Who's doing the fighting and who's doing the defending? Who's wrong and who's right?
I don't pick sides, but this is what I did observe. I observed the police understanding that these kids was doing this for a project. When they was locking them up, they was like, okay, you're not going to get in no trouble. Who wants to go home? And if you're protesting and want to go to jail, y'all stand over here in this line. Mm-hmm. There was people that needed it on their resume to say, I went to jail for this. And there was people that he was letting go home, and it wasn't really the fighting that you were seeing was more the, like you said, like the people just going up to campus that didn't belong on campus. I didn't belong on campus. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people just up there trying to get footage and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's interesting to see it that way. Like it's a crossroads of things, People want that street cred.
It's in West California, so I live close to it, and it ain't nowhere near South Central, so it wasn't going to be like a big rising of black people or nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? So America, I think, is in line, is waking up, because I'm seeing these politicians putting stipulations on this money we giving them now. So I think they're calling the governor and say, hey, this money needs to stop to both parties. First, it was just Ukraine. But, and then in that little period that you said that they need.
That little what?
The pier, the floating pier.
Oh, yeah, the pier, yeah.
To deliver goods.
Yeah, the aid.
That ain't nothing new. Yeah, that ain't nothing
But they
new.
have to do that, right?
That
Am I misunderstanding that this is what they had to do due to the... They can't roll them in the trucks through the Allies or anything because the Arabs don't want to help them. Israel doesn't want to help them. So they got to bring in this pier, or am I misunderstanding that?
Yeah, they're going to set up their own two-state where they're going to be in charge of their own goods, and Israel's going to be like, well, we're not going to be in charge of it no more. And I'm like, all right, cool, but they're going to have to be still two-state. I don't think that they're going to just end this war.
Who needs to be? You're saying that's what you say needs to happen, a two-state solution?
Of course, because
and why do you say that?
The president of China just made an agreement with Putin, and they just shook hands yesterday. Oh yeah, they just to dissolve the Ukraine thing. So if China just made a deal with Russia to resolve the Ukraine.
And how do they want to resolve it?
You need to stay up on your news. You need to stay, he's like.
I just want to know what you think, because I don't know. I don't really know.
I think
I don't really know what we should do. And you said we need a two-state solution. You said because China and Russia and because China and Putin they made a deal, and that's where you were. You were saying that they made a deal to deal with Ukraine. And so how are they dealing with Ukraine?
They're gonna broker a deal where they're gonna say, okay, you're not gonna get none of Ukraine. It's gonna be a two-state in Russia as it is in Israel, or if not, we go in World War III and China got Russia's back. So I'm thinking Biden is going to stay in office so that don't happen, because Trump, he's just a yes man. He's going to say, yeah, I'm with Putin. Yeah, take Ukraine, Israel.
But isn't that what you want?
Try to make it a war. Huh?
Isn't that what you want?
What? I don't want anything. This is God's plan. I'm just.
I'm sorry. I thought I got the impression you saw that as
a. You keep trying to put words in my mouth.
No. I want to get it. No, sir. I want to get it right. I got the impression that you said. I got the impression that you saw the unification of China and Russia and their threat, I guess, to a one-state solution. I thought you saw. I got the impression you saw that as a good thing.
That over there is bad. But what? Yeah.
Oh, so you want a one-state solution?
No, I don't. I said what they're doing, Russia and China hooking up is bad. I want a two-state solution, period, in both spots. But they don't want that.
Oh, you say Russia doesn't want that.
Israel don't want that. United States, Ukraine, they don't want. They want two-state in Ukraine, but yeah, they ain't going.
So it's like a movable force and a movable object. It has to be war.
Right, yeah, it has to be war, because we don't want to send Ukraine money no more.
Because they want their one state, and this side wants their one state.
America wants them first. Forget both countries.
Am I understanding you? The people who want the one state on this side of the world and Israel and all that are in conflict with those who want the one state on their side, Ukraine and Russia, etc.
Yeah, because Russia is
that's coming to a head.
Territory in Syria. Russia can attack Israel for China to make sure it's a two-state. Once you destroy Israel, there's no state. So no state's better than one state.
I understand you, man. You know what? You might be right. I just wish there was a man of peace that could negotiate something like that. I'll say, in my maybe ignorant opinion, I gotta say, you say two-state. I say, man, these Palestinian bullies, no one wants them. You don't get anything. But I don't know. About Ukraine, I didn't see it like that about Ukraine. Interesting. Go on.
Yeah, it's like if we had the Bloods and Crips and America had a war on the Bloods and the Crips, and then they were just attacking all black people. The black people would be the Palestinians. We ain't all Bloods and Crips, but y'all coming in killing all of us. So the Palestinians is like, what we got to do with the war? Oh, y'all hiding with them. Y'all the same color. I'm like, what? Yeah, y'all in the same area.
Who's hiding with them? The Hamas?
Like, hold on. Yeah, that's what's going on over here. Hamas is hiding with the Palestinians. The Palestinians ain't the problem. It's the Hamas. See, you think Palestinians are the problem. It's Hamas. Hamas is the problem. They're a small group, but they're killing Palestinians. You say Palestinian more than Hamas. I ain't heard you say Hamas one time.
That might be fair. It could be out of my ignorance, man. But here's
okay.
If you can help me understand this, I don't really see Palestinians coming out saying, man, look at Hamas, look at this world, look at this. Hamas is like blah, blah, blah.
They don't let it out. They're Christians over there. Palestinians.
That may be true that there may be Christians, but you got to understand something here, that even those Christian Palestinians, my impression, it seems like they want to die for the land, and you got to understand that not even the Arabs want the Palestinians. Did you see that video of the Shah of Iran I played on my show the other day? And how even though he has from 1970 something, even though he had like sympathy and all that for them, he's like, there's no one who wants these bullies, and they don't want.
Nobody wanted the Jews at one time.
And there were reasons for that, I imagine, or something, and the reasons remain for Palestinians, or even if the world is wrong, or right, the reasons remain. You understand? People are still people, and all that.
Now they got control of the media. You just worried about these people being the problem and not knowing why.
Can you say what you said again about the media? Can you say, you kind of went away from, wait, don't talk over me, Frederick. I'm trying to understand you, man. We're having a nice conversation.
Okay, I'm saying.
Wait, hold on. Say it closer to your phone, too, because it sounds like you walked away or something.
All right, I said, what if Palestine get control of the media?
What about that? Wait, say, help me understand where you're going. What if Palestine got control of the media?
Just because they're bad, nobody wants them. Just like Jews was at one time. Once they get control of the media and change the narrative, they can do what they want. You saying, oh, it's okay now, and then they can choose who they want to be portray as the bad guy. And now you're looking at Palestine like, hey, nobody wants them. They're the bad guy. But these are the people.
In the realm of possibilities, that may be true, Frederick. But what's your question for me? I mean, if you're saying it should, what if, Nick, if they got control of the? Wait, let me respond. Wait, Frederick, let me respond. Come on, one at a time. But let me just answer you. I mean, in the realm of possibilities, I guess that's true. And if that were to happen, well, then Palestine does their thing and they win in that way. You understand what I'm saying here? Like,
yeah, don't be
if that were something to happen, I mean, then that happens, I guess, Frederick. But what's your question for me? It's not clear.
My question for you is just because nobody wants.
And the assumption in your, by the way, I'll let you finish. I just want to add that the assumption there is that
nobody wants them. Does that make people worthless?
Right, but no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that it makes them worthless. I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
You're saying it's okay for them to do it, getting done to them.
No, that's not what I'm saying either. I'm just saying they don't get what you don't get your demands. Maybe you don't get what you want. Is all I'm saying. Maybe you don't get what you want. Is all I'm saying. If you bully,
because you're a minority,
in the same way that I left space for this possibility of media, and by the way, the assumption there is that the reason that the public opinion is negative on the Palestinians is because of media, which may be true, but that's an assumption. But let's say I left space for that possibility exists for the Palestinians to do that. Why not? Why wouldn't you accept that? Why wouldn't you accept if I'll make it clear. It just seems like you don't accept the validity of this negative public opinion. You're saying it's just propagandized, I guess. And
no, I'm not saying that.
And I don't know if you are clear on that, I guess. How are you so sure about
America
that? Simply.
Has to be fair. It has to hold Israel accountable for war crimes like it's doing. And it has to be reasonable for the Palestinian people, even though they have nowhere to go. They're still human beings.
Right.
There's ways to bomb.
That's what I was saying.
Without
the assumption is I'm saying that I'm greenlighting every little thing that's happening. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is it seems like anyone on the so-called Palestinian side, even maybe you in this moment, doesn't really want to leave any space for maybe you don't get all your demands. It sounds like
Okay.
There is no budging. There is no budging at all because why? Because they're occupied. Oh, because genocide. Oh, because so there's no budging. There's no hello. Sorry, Frederick. Sorry, Frederick. No, let me finish. I'm almost done. Sorry, Frederick. Public opinion, even if you believe it may be controlled by a certain group, guess what? It's this way. They don't like the Palestinians, and you don't get what you don't. You gotta when you want a deal done. Maybe one way is terrorism, but it's not working for you. When you want a deal done, guess what? You got to work with people. You understand what I'm saying here? So maybe the Palestinians don't get what they want.
Nick, Palestinians have no request.
And it's not automatically evil. It's not automatically evil and treating them less than human if they don't get what they want because they were big bullies.
Hamas has
if the world doesn't want to give them what they want, I've crystallized what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
Palestinians are getting bombed. How are you saying Palestinians are making requests? They're not. The Hamas is making the request, hiding amongst
But you don't really know that either.
Yes, Hamas is who they want. They told you. They don't.
But as far as we're concerned, it's just as likely that they want Hamas to be their leadership. No, so you don't know that.
They want to cease fire so they can figure out where the enemy is.
That's a different. That's a different thing. As far as we're concerned,
that's why they're doing this at the college.
Let's slow this down, Frederick. Am I ignorant? Let's slow this down. Am I ignorant in saying this? As far as we're concerned, what you're saying about it's just Palestinians and this difference between and all that. As far as we're concerned, isn't it just as likely that they want Hamas? That you have as much information as I, and that these people are at least sympathetic enough. There could be degrees, blah blah blah, but at least isn't it just as likely that they could be sympathetic enough for Hamas to be their leaders in the way that you're saying they're not?
No. Hamas
and so you said no. You said no, right? Okay, because I'm ignorant. Help me here. You said no. It sounds like you're sure. Help me.
I don't even know.
Help me know how you know that. How do you know that, Frederick? For someone who doesn't know, how do you know that? Because you said no. So you're positive that I know I'm rambling. So I'm going to make it clear.
Yeah, please.
You're positive that the Palestinians are not. They don't want Hamas to be their leadership. You just said that, right? So help me.
Yes, true.
How do you know that?
Palestine do not want Hamas there, but they are killing Palestinians looking for Hamas.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You said you're sure. You said you're sure. How do you know that?
Because Hamas is the target.
No. I asked you. No. The question is, you're disagreeing with you. You even said, oh, you say Palestinians more than you're saying Hamas. You're making this distinction.
Hamas
okay.
Is the target.
I'm saying that it seems like we can also say that the Palestinians are at least supportive enough to actually have them as their leadership. You're saying you're sure it's not that. I'd like to know how you know that for sure.
Because they bombing the whole country. They getting brought up on war crimes with the United States. The way they going about it, that other countries in South Africa raising up and saying they are committing genocide on these Palestinian people. War crimes are actively moving forward on Israel today. That's
not answering my question, though.
Yeah, I am. Because if they was doing it right, they wouldn't have war crimes against them.
It's not answering my question at all.
They're attacking innocent people.
You want to talk about other things? We could do it. But why won't you answer my question? We could talk about other things. You might be right about those things, but I don't even want to talk about those things because you're not answering my question. How do you know? How do you know the Palestinians are not majorly supporting Hamas? Again, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about other topics that you might be right about because you're not even answering my questions. How do you know the Palestinians are not majorly supportive of Hamas? Go.
Because the Palestinians are getting killed. Listen, Nick, they are not supportive of Hamas because the Palestinians themselves are getting killed for Hamas. Why would you support somebody that they're not getting killed, but you are? Think about it. These are your leaders. They safe. But everybody in Palestine and the Palestinian people are being killed. What don't you understand?
You're doing
what
some.
What don't you understand, though?
Here's what I don't understand. You're doing some logical deducing in your head without seemingly answering my simple question of how you know in an evidence. Wait, how are we going to have a conversation when you talk about wanting to have a conversation with me?
I'm waiting on you to catch up.
I'm waiting for you to listen to me. You said.
You said you asked a stupid question. Like, how do I know that Palestinians
it's actually
don't
quite
want
clear.
Hamas to be their
It's actually quite clear. So it's actually quite clear, and this is pretty interesting, actually. Again,
it's real clear.
Again, you're just doing some logical deducing in your head about what a person might or what a person
need to be logical.
You want
it's just common sense.
You're doing this deducing in your head without knowing of what a person, a Palestinian in this case, would feel like if they were getting killed and who they would support and who they wouldn't support. But that's in your head, Frederick. My question again is, how do you know, from an evidentiary standpoint, how do you know that the Palestinians don't, in a significant way, support Hamas? Because you say they don't, and I want to know how you know that. Okay, now you're back on the air, Frederick. Were you just talking that whole time?
Nope. I said our president called for a ceasefire. That's why.
Thank you, Frederick. Appreciate your call, man. I mean, I don't know if you quite answered it. Hey, no, before I let you go, is there anything else you want to say before you go? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, you just need to work on your anger and let people talk, because when your blood
No anger
you
here.
Get all crybaby and jittery. Like you
No.
You go, no. Wait. You cut people
100%
off.
not. It's just a bad habit. I do this cutting off thing.
Exactly.
But but it's quite clear, actually. It was quite clear to I'm pretty sure it's quite clear to the audience. Oh, he's just going to hang up on me. It was quite clear to the audience that you weren't answering the question. So, you got to do all this extra work to keep you on there, man. And then you interrupt and all that. So, don't get offended. Some people, you may not like it. Or you may not like it, rubs you the wrong way or something. But I'm just trying to keep it clear for the folks here, and it's quite clear, I think, to the audience that you didn't quite answer the question. Beautiful. But thanks for your call, man. 888-775-3773. So I'm getting this from FDD.org. I'm getting this from Sean. 71% of all Palestinians supported Hamas's decision to attack Israel on October 7th. From the AP, 44% in the West Bank said they supported Hamas. NBC, before the war in September 2023, only 12% of Palestinians in the West Bank supported Hamas. So thank you for some information there, Sean. Because I just wanted to get past the question. I guess you got to answer, right? Because maybe he's right. Maybe there's evidence and whatever. Let's talk about it. But interesting. Thank you that. Let's keep it going. We got DJ Darren, California. Sir, you're on the air.
What's up, Anchor Baby?
Hello, sir. Appreciate your call.
How you doing, buddy?
All is well, sir.
Not that last caller would not answer the question, and he's the only one hostile and angry on you did fine.
Right on, sir.
You're just trying to get
you sound like my sister.
Answered.
I'm joking.
Jesus Christ, the guy's like pulling teeth with that guy. Jesus Christ.
Maybe, yeah.
He needs to go to the mentorship first Thursday every month.
People just got to be patient with me. Es que no me tienen paciencia. You got to be patient with me. I'm just working it out here.
You're the most patient, gentle person I know. That caller was ridiculous.
Es que no me tienen paciencia. That's for the Mexicans in the chat. How you doing, DJ Darren? What's on your mind?
Good, brother. I want to real quick comment, I guess, on the Palestine-Israel protests that have been going on. So, as you know, I did go to the UCLA protest and filmed it. I'm a live streamer on YouTube. And so I guess I left, though, right before the complete riot broke out, half an hour before that, I guess. I was trying to see what was going on. I was waiting for the police. Basically, I had a terrible experience out there, and it changed my mind on some stuff. I went out there as a neutral party. I'm a YouTuber. I don't know too much about the situation. Obviously, I'm in America.
I must have missed the plug.
I'm not in Palestine, and I'm in Israel, so I don't want to take either side. I'm there reporting, filming, seeing what's going on, and learning from myself. Well, I went into the encampment area twice, and the first time was fine. The second time, they made you, well, you know what? To get into the encampment area, they made you say down with the Zionists. So it's really, really cultish. Just to get into the encampment area, you're forced to repeat that phrase. I'm like, okay, whatever. And the second time I went in there. I'm walking around. It's pretty dark. My camera does not show much light. It's pretty dark, so I picked up a flashlight on the ground. There's stuff all over the ground. Drills, nails, all sorts of stuff, paraphernalia all over the ground for building stuff and all sorts of stuff. So I picked up a flashlight. I'm using it to kind of illuminate stuff as I'm filming the barricade, not even people yet. They gave me 2 rules: don't film people's faces and don't film conversations. I mean, okay, no problem. I didn't violate that. Well, I pretty much got almost attacked by a whole mob, telling me to put the flashlight down. I'm like, well, I just picked it up off the ground amongst a million different items on the ground, including food and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm just lighting up the area so I can film. He's like, okay, well, just, this Asian guy, just give me a bunch of crap. I'm like, okay, whatever, bro. So I just put it down. I'm like, fine, bro. Stop harassing me, bro. I'm just trying to, shed some light on my camera so I can film this encampment. You figure that's their purpose, right? They're out there protesting, they're out there crying like little babies. They want press attention. There you go. I'm out there filming. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing out there. I'm, YouTube press or whatever you want to call it. I'm a neutral party out there.
I missed it earlier. I don't know if you plugged,
but I'm not wearing any Israel stuff. I'm not on either side. I don't even know the details of the thing. I'm out there to film and to learn some things myself. So I put the flashlight down. Well, the guy, I guess, evidently I didn't put the flashlight down gentle enough. And so all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by a goddamn mob, bro, like 10, 12 people. You know what I mean? And like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, I'm filming. I'm a YouTuber. I'm in a ski mask, you know what I mean? So I'm unrecognizable. I'm in a ski mask, and I got knuckle gloves, which have the little plastic caps on, so like brass knuckle gloves, kind of. So I'm ready to fight a mob at any point.
Good turn on you.
Situations are crazy. Or run. I got a backpack on, a ski mask on, and I'm filming. I'm in there, covert, but not doing anything bad or nothing. And so I get surrounded by a whole goddamn mob. They're like, "Are you a Zionist? Are you a Zionist?" And really, I'm surrounded, and they're trying to touch me. I'm backpacking everything. I don't even know what a Zionist is. So like, "Oh, you're a Zionist. We know you are. We know you are." I'm like, "I don't even know what that is." Like,
is that
playing dumb with us?
Wow, were you saying I don't even know what that is?
Hands on.
They didn't like that?
Bro. I still don't know.
Keep it clean, my friend.
Is it a Jew? I'm like, I didn't want to egg these guys on because I'm outnumbered. I was supposed to be there filming with another friend. I couldn't find him, so I'm just there alone. So I have no backup. And obviously, I'm not trying to fight like 12 people at one time. Mostly dudes, couple girls. And luckily, I got it simmered down. But like, Jesus Christ,
they turned.
Big
emotions are high.
Like, dude, a bunch of this is what we call LARPers.
It looks like they were ready
to
commit violence for just saying the wrong thing, because you weren't attacking them, you weren't doing anything physical to them.
I didn't even come near to breaking any rules out there, and respectful and kind, and like, Jesus Christ, bunch of LARPers out there, what we call live action role play.
Yeah,
pretending there's something that they're not. None of these assholes have been to Palestine.
Hey, Darren, can you hear me? Keep it clean, sir.
I'm sorry. None of these morons are from Palestine or Israel. They're not involved. They're just out there trying to fight. They're just out there. It seemed like a lot of brainwashing to me, man. I'm just sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. Like, not even up for open conversation. Just immediately like, oh, let's just go attack the guy with the camera. There's other people filming all over the place.
See, like, this is the bullying I'm talking about.
And in people's faces, I'm very gentle out there. I'm just filming the barricades, doing a walk around, and I'm not even doing interviews or nothing. I'm just chilling.
See, this is the bullying I'm talking about. Darren's kindness and patience and tolerance can only go so far, and many Americans have a sort of tolerance and even have a supportive bone in them for the Palestinians and their plight and all that. But look at all this bullying. This is almost poetic. Them really running short their leash here with how much you know what I'm talking about, right? How much
I went in there with sympathy for them, but I left that place supporting Israel. Good job, you bunch of dumb moron kids. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're fighting for. Bunch of morons. You're just there to fight and get your little 15 minutes of fame. Just out there, little buddy up with their own little groups, trying to beat people up because they don't know the word Zionist.
They ended up creating a Zionist.
I still don't know. And guess who I support now? Israel. You bunch of little bastards out there.
Let's go. I love the Jews.
Bunch of little fakes.
No need to take sides. No need to go and militantly take another side in response. But isn't that so understandable? Look, they went out creating a Zionist when they thought they were stopping it all.
Exactly. They're just they're not out there doing anything beneficial. And the opposite, they're trying to beat up innocent people, and that's what they did when the cops rolled in there. Just riot after riot. No police came in. A bunch of people knocked unconscious. A bunch of people beat up, sent to the hospital. No backup coming. Just like mob mentality out there. Like, yeah, good job, you guys.
And
now
they want, and they think they're gonna. They think they want to. They're trying to curry support from the world here. If only they could see how they really are. Right on, Darren.
Well,
What's that last thing you want to say here before we move the wheels, sir?
No, bunch of jerk ass kids out there don't know what the hell they're doing. I hope they all end up in jail. I hope they. You know what? Get your ass over to Palestine.
Keep it clean,
the war, then. Pick up a gun and get out there and stop LARPing like you know what you're doing.
Don't do that.
Like you're for a cause because you're not. Get your ass over there to Palestine.
No, keep it clean. All right, Darren. All right, Darren. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you for your call.
Anyway, love you, buddy.
Appreciate it, sir. 888-775-3773. The fire. The fire. Don't pick up a gun. Don't pick up a gun unless you are practicing to defend yourself in a proper situation as the law dictates in your area, citizen. Okay. What else do we got here? I mean, let's keep it going. We got calls. Appreciate your calls, folks. 888-775-3773. Jaime out of Minnesota. Appreciate your call.
How's it going, Anchor Baby?
All is well, sir.
That's good. Hey, what's wrong with the blacks?
What's wrong with the black? I mean, what can we say, folks? We hear it. And if you haven't heard it before, I shall repeat it for you. Anger. Please check out the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. Right on, Jaime. Go ahead.
Yeah, that Frederick, he sounded really angry. It's crazy. Couldn't understand what his point that he was trying to make. And I'm sure there was a good point in there somewhere.
There may have been a good point. I don't know if he was angry. He's just got a, I mean, he may have it inside, but shall we call it blinders? What should we call it? Tunnel vision. He's got a mission. He's going international. He won't be. It's hard to keep him on our show. Keep him on a script on the show here. Keep it going. A simple conversation. But hey.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but one of the outcomes of smoking too much pot is not being able to collect your thoughts.
So what do you do when that's already happening to you?
You're screwed. You don't do anything. Yeah. Well, anyways.
Do you have a comment? Go ahead.
Just like with your last caller, when this whole thing started October 7th, I didn't know. I wasn't for either one, personally. But now that things have kind of flushed themselves out, I'm more rooting for Israel now,
Yeah.
I love them both.
Yeah,
I love both sides, and I wish this wouldn't happen. But now that we can see, what we see, I'm more for Israel.
Well, I mean, I understand I too get the same, it might be, it's probably shallow, but I too get the same, vibes. I got to go for, I see the bandwagon, I want to go the other way.
Right.
And I do wonder about this love. We're talking about love, and you're saying, I love the Palestinians, I love them both. And I wonder, I hear a lot of people, I see the world, like governments, and especially the Arab world, they say that. At one point, don't you think loving them is saying, maybe, I'm not saying you have to, but maybe you got to do something different. Maybe you got to change your strategy, like the Shah of Iran said in 1976. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, and so it's kind of the same thing with the Ukraine-Russia thing. I didn't know which one was doing what, or, what I was going to say was I'm not with any bandwagon or anything. I was just thinking for myself, It just so happens that other people think that too now. But I wasn't, it's just until about recent that I thought, you know what? I think the Israelis got to get it. And it helps a lot that Trump thought that way too, but I wasn't even won over at that point. It's just recent,
Won over. And won over to what again?
Israel.
You're full on. You're a Zionist.
Well, no, not that.
Wait, so it sounds
Just
like you
in
know
this conflict.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I support their right to. I'm going to do the politician thing. I support the right to defend themselves.
And there's a lot of good that's going to do them, anyways. My support of them.
Yeah.
My thoughts and prayers.
Big time.
So yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter. But it's the same with Russia and Ukraine. Everybody wanted Ukraine and all this, and then you remember that they froze all of Russia's assets here in the U.S.?
Oh, I remember something like that.
That is nuts.
What do you know? Did the U.S. freeze Russian assets? Let's see what ChatGPT says. Because that was an interesting moment. Because do you remember the details?
Well, it's like
in 2014, right? Like that whole mess.
No, this is 2014. No.
Well, not 2014. Sorry, but
22, 21?
Like in the last few years, yeah. Okay, so let's see what ChatGPT said. Yeah, 2022, the invasion of Ukraine. They cited the annexation of Crimea. Yeah, and so what did you want to say about that?
Yeah, they stopped taking payments from Russia.
I mean, the sanctions continue till today. So we'll go on.
Yeah. And when they were doing that, I thought that that's kind of weird. Why would you want to do that? Or how? What gives you the right to do those kind of things? But now that more and more has happened, for me personally, I'd be on Russia's side.
Well, to answer your question, I guess that's what conflict looks like, right? And conflict doesn't always have to be war, I guess. It could be business and all that. But we're talking about sanctions here, and to answer your question, like I said, it's conflict, so it's not necessarily wrong. It's what you do in war. But the question becomes, especially before this Russia-Ukraine war, the question was, since 2014, wait, is America wanting or at war with Russia? And that's kind of been the question, and there's been different things to kind of point to that 2022 sanctions. That's what people were considering. It's like, wait, is this America's march towards war with Russia? This can be seen as an act of war, right?
Okay.
But that's what you do when you conflict, especially in the world stage. Sanctions is one of your tools.
They were looking for a reason to do it, to do these sanctions.
You say America is looking for a reason? And
is that what you're saying?
I'm asking you, sorry to clarify. You're saying that's what America was looking for the reason?
Yeah, I was asking you, was America looking for a reason, and then all of a sudden Russia did what they did, and then they were like, here we go. Now we do it.
It might be. Do you have any reason to believe to go that direction in your thought?
I don't. I have no insight on that, but that's
yeah, because personally,
what you're making me think.
Ask your question again.
Were
they looking for it? Right, because that's the question, right? Because they'll say, the American government will say, well, this is what you have to do in an international rules-based order. And this is what you have to do when someone tries to break that rules of international based order, like Russia trying to take land. We don't do that anymore, remember? Them's the rules. So when you ask me, was America looking, well, I don't know if I can give you evidence, but for me, I have some stuff written down, but it's not something I'm talking about today. But for me, to summarize it, if that's the conclusion here that, it's an international rules-based order, etc., but I see the people who are the so-called protectors of that order do things against that, my internal spidey senses go off, and I'm like, wait, where's this rules-based order I heard of? And when I hear about things of NATO getting close to a country that doesn't want them to, I wonder who really wants peace. But again, that's where I'm at.
That's an interesting line of thinking.
Yeah. So that's as far as I've gone with that. Right on, Jaime. Anything else you want to say here?
Yeah. No, that's it. I'm no Zionist, but I hope Israel wins in this one.
Out of rebellion, basically rebellion here.
Just based on the content of each side's character, really.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Nice, Jaime. Appreciate your call. Call me again.
Yeah. Bye.
888-775-3773. Let's keep it rocking. Yes, Gunner, Illinois. Appreciate your call, sir. On the air.
Howdy, how you doing, Nick? I hope you're doing all right.
All is well, man. Thank you for your call.
Yes, man. These last two callers you have, man, they got to really check themselves, man.
Okay.
They really got to look at themselves in the mirror and realize that what's going on right now in Palestine is a genocide. And you, as a host, should not be supporting Israel.
Okay.
Because, I really actually do talk to people that are from Palestine. While they don't agree with the college encampments, what's going on, bottom line, is genocide. And you guys want to say, these are the bullies. Let's not support the bullies.
Mm-hmm.
How is Hamas with armed forces? They have just about 10,000 troops. How are they going to compare to the IDF? That's well equipped. That's well funded. Of course, these people are going to support Hamas. These are the ones that are defending their homeland. And then when we talk about no other country wants to take them, why would anybody else take the Palestinians if that's their homeland? Why? We don't know if these houses and hospitals and schools are going to be rebuilt. We don't. We don't know, man.
Gotcha.
I agree with you. I agree. It's full of anger. Hey, we should forgive. We should get along. Maybe a two-state solution. But these people have nowhere to go, and we know we can't talk about certain individuals. We can't say certain terms and remarks because you guys will get probably banned or shadow banned and that sort of thing. And I'm not about to do that.
Thank you, sir.
But if you call yourself,
if there's a way you could say it, but anyways.
What do you mean, Nick? What do you mean the way I say it?
I don't even know. I'm saying if there's a way you could say it, but I don't really know what you're even getting at. But thank you for understanding.
Come on.
No, I'm just, maybe you misunderstood me. I'm saying if there's a way you could say the thing you can't say, I guess you could try, but thank you for understanding and not wanting us to get banned. Maybe you misunderstood me.
Yeah. Come on, Nick. I mean, it's at the end of the day, man, we're going to realize if what we're doing is right or wrong.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
And specifically about supporting Israel, I mean, this war?
I don't support them.
No, I'm saying, you're saying one day we're going to realize, we're going to find out whether we're right or wrong. What'd you say there? Can you repeat that part?
Yeah, of course. I mean, did we do? We're going to end up finding out that we do enough. Could we have done enough?
Gotcha. And specifically, you mean referring to this Gaza and all that?
Of course. Everybody says, they're protesting for this Hamas in Palestine. They should go out there and fight. What happened in 1968 or 1969? 500,000 people were out marching in D.C. Protesting against the Vietnam War. These people didn't want to go out there and fight. They didn't want to go fight. They just think that, America shouldn't have been involved in other foreign affairs.
Mm-hmm. And so what is it that you think I support?
Come on, Nick. You're throwing hints.
No. You can speak freely, man. I don't know what you're getting at. You're saying, I know you said I support Israel, but then you also said 1969 Vietnam War. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want Americans to go to war. Like, I'm not saying anything about that. I mean,
Do you believe in the fundamental right to protest?
I'd like to get into that. What'd you say? Say that again.
Do you believe in a fundamental right to protest?
No.
As a constitutional right.
That's a constitutional right? A fundamental right to protest?
I might have worded that wrong. Do you believe in the constitutional right to protest?
Are you talking about free speech?
Right to assembly.
Yeah.
Right to,
Sure, I believe that, yeah.
Okay, then. So if these universities allow it, then let them allow it. But then you have Congress people saying, hey, the governor, the mayor should go out there and send the National Guard and arrest these people, which hasn't happened. I agree. Hey, I don't even agree with it. There's a time.
So wait, what are you saying?
Right? There's a time and place to protest, right? I don't support.
Okay.
What the right to protest over here. I mean,
but I like the students duking it out. I kind of like the students like talking and like debating and even yelling and protesting. What do you mean?
We got to move past that. We got to move past that.
No, but
they're getting.
You're saying, we got to move. But I'm not even following you yet. I mean, you're telling. Just slow down for me for a second. I don't even know what you want to move past yet. You said to me, you sounded like you didn't like that the law enforcement was stamping down these protests because free speech and your right to assembly. Here I am saying I kind of like that the students get to duke it out and like talk and protest and fight. And I'm not talking about violence. That should be.
I agree, but you know,
and then you say, but we got to
where,
get past that. So help me get to where you are. I'm not understanding.
Well, how are you saying that? You know how they're duking it out with each other. You know how the pro side.
I agree with you. Free speech. Let's like protest. Let's like. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want people to go out and protest. I think that's silly because you know what I talk about, anger and like. I think that's silly. People but hey, like you said, right to assembly. I like that. I actually think it's a little.
But
I think it's
once it gets to the point where they're blocking students, they're blocking.
Right. It doesn't sound like you support that. It doesn't sound like that's what you're talking about.
When some of these schools, they couldn't even have commencement week because people were protesting, so they had to cancel graduation.
So do you wait? So do you? I'm not understanding you. Or do you like these protests or not? It sounds
50-50.
like. Gotcha. Sorry, maybe you were clear. Like you've seen that they've gone far with the blocking people. That's crazy. But you don't like this law enforcement descending on them and trying to stop the right to assembly and protest and to speak what you. I mean, that makes sense so far. What you're saying there. Is there anything I've said that is unclear that you're disagreeing with me?
Well, yeah. Well, we were saying in the beginning, crush the bullies. Crush the bullies, you know. What do you mean the bullies? These people
I didn't say crush the bully. When did I say crush the bullies? I'm saying
who was the bully?
I'm saying quite clear, but I didn't say crush the bully. That's what you said. I said, and I did not say that. I said quite clearly, and let me make this clear. I said quite clearly that the world, whether they're wrong or right about if they really are bullies or not, whatever you may think about that, the media, etc. When the world or whoever, a group, an audience, doesn't like someone. Because they're a bully or whatever, that's what happens. I'm not saying crush the bully. I'm saying what the Shah of Iran said in the 70s. That hey, Palestinians, guess what? The world doesn't like bullies, and that's what you're doing, and you're starting to lose the world. You're starting to lose people, and that was in the 70s.
One of the things I heard you was saying. All right, thank you for correcting me.
Nice.
All right, I give you that.
Thank you.
I
want to get into genocide and supporting of Israel, but go ahead. What you're saying?
Exactly. One of the things that you were saying was that, hey, Palestinian people, maybe you're not going to get everything that you want. And how come one side is going to get whatever they want, while the Palestinians
Well, that's not clear either. They're fighting for that. That's also not clear.
Look what's going on. I don't see nobody invading Tel Aviv.
Fair enough. But like you said, let me make this clear. You said, well, maybe the Palestinians don't get what they want. Because think about what they require to get what they want. You don't just get what you want because you said it. You need people on your side. You need people to agree. And guess what? You even need to make some deals. You understand? So that's what I mean by you don't get what you want. Because it requires things. It's not just something you get because you want. That's clear so far, right? Now, correct? Okay. So now I can understand what you're saying about, well, there's one side that is getting what they want. And I think that's quite clear. Israel has a lot of support. They're doing this war and pushing the people out, even though the UN and some parts of the U.S. say, hey, what's up? Hold it up here, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is that that's a matter of, we're still in the same playground here. We're playing by the same, what I'm saying is that that's what they've achieved in a sense. You understand me? It's not a commentary of what's right or wrong here. That's what's been achieved. That's what they've done. And, by the way, it's still an ongoing conversation. As you can see, there's protesting on the campuses. They're protesting Biden. Biden is wishy-washy. You understand what I'm saying by that? Don't you see how it's an ongoing fight? That isn't settled.
I agree with the...
So far, where have I been logically incorrect or inconsistent?
I don't know, man. You're agreeing too much with these callers, man.
No.
You are, man.
But talk to me.
Fine.
So far with what I've said so far, where have I been logically inconsistent, or am I confusing, or am I unclear? Because I'd like to get to the things that maybe we disagree. Say again?
You're not. You haven't been inconsistent.
Awesome. Is there something you wanted to say before we get to genocide?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you said it's a genocide, Nick. It's a total genocide. You shouldn't be supporting Israel. Let me just say, I don't really know the intricacies of Israel. Like I can't say I support Israel, the government. I just love the Jews, you know, and I love if I was Israel and I say this all the time, like because I understand my blind spots and ignorance. Please call me and fill them in. But as I stand right now, if I was Israel, I'd be kicking them out. These people are attacking us, blah blah blah. So,
but why?
So back to the genocide
Why?
thing. So back to okay.
So people can't defend themselves. People can't defend their homeland. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying they can, and that's why.
Vietnamese did. That's what the Vietnamese did, and then what? They kicked the U.S.'s butt, and we lost that war. I'm trying to tell you, Nick. Come on, Nick.
So what's your point with that?
Israel's over.
Does that prove?
They're over. What happened?
Finish your statement. My apologies.
What Israel doing is they're overthrowing the Palestinian people off their land.
Oh yeah.
While we witnesses, while everybody, the whole world is watching. All right. Now I
want to get to genocide, but this is good.
I don't want you to think that I'm saying this with anger.
I don't think so, and that's none of my. No, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm not trying. That means if you want to talk about anger, we can talk about that, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're just two free men talking, and I don't need to go around examining your heart about anger, blah blah blah. If you want to talk about anger, we could do that later. But right now, we're just two guys talking. Okay, Israel. I wanted to ask you. You said, Nick, and we'll get to genocide. They're kicking them off the land. They're kicking them off their land. They're kicking them off their land. I mean, don't you know that that's everybody? Like, how do I put this?
I agree.
How do you?
I 100% agree.
Guess what? It's not their land. And look, says who? Let's put it like this. You say they're kicking them off their land. Says who?
There's no denying that.
Says who's they say it. You said it's their land. Says who?
There's always been war. There's always been one nation conquering a nation. I agree, right? There's always been that. But there's a certain event that we somehow always have to bring up. Oh no, it can never again. Never again. We can never let this happen again. It's happening right now, man. Happening right now.
And I want to get to that. I really want to get to that. And it's happening right now in genocide.
It's not, don't worry. You're saying it's not their land.
I want to deal with the... Yeah.
you have a point. You have a point when you say, well, nations have conquered nations. And this is just another...
And the Europeans, when they paid in blood and they won World War II, the Allies, the white people of that world, the inheritors of that world, guess what? They carved it up the way they did. You got something you want to tell me otherwise? Show me the guns and blood. Show me, and I guess they're doing that now. There's guns and blood happening now, and that's why I said it's unsettled. But does that answer the question of their land? So far, am I inconsistent or unclear about that one?
It's Palestinians' land, man.
You still say it's their land? Says who?
History.
But history, like I just told you, is telling us that it's actually Israel. It's Israel. It's called Israel. Yeah. And the Europeans paid in blood and carved it up and all that. So, to answer your question, history says it's Israel. Can you tell me otherwise? Says who? It's Palestine.
When I'm not gonna get into that, Nick.
Okay, we can move on.
Pick up the whole show. Yeah.
I loving this call. Yes, gonna appreciate it. I hope you are too. Huh?
Burst your bubble. I wanted to call in and burst the bubble,
No. I love this call.
I had a little good dialogue because
I love in this call because I want to be clear on what I'm thinking because I'm unclear and bumbling sometimes, and I want to confront that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay,
thank you, man.
I'm loving it. On the land thing, that's clear, right? I want to do genocide. Can we do that real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's things that I'm unclear of. Like, I don't know the details of the on-the-ground stuff. Can Israel be committing a genocide? Absolutely, it's in the realm of possibilities. Like, they're these saints. Like, they're these good... Like I haven't seen Jews pretty much have anger to the Palestinians. Like, I haven't seen Israeli officials... And I've only seen this on the internet and reported by Haaretz and other stuff like that. Like, I haven't seen Israeli, government officials show what I think is... pretty nasty language and all that to Palestine. Anger, what it seems like, right? So, can it, in the realm of possibility, sure, blah, blah, blah. But you got to understand this is how I'm seeing it, that all the people who kind of go around and say that leave no space for the defense part. So, help me understand what part I'm misunderstanding about the genocide thing and how you know it is one. And so you can help me understand.
When it's the terminology you're using, Nick. Because when you say it, could it be in the realm of possibility? Could this be going on? Could it be possible? Sound like that guy from Ancient Aliens. Could it be possible, Nick? It's happening, Nick. It's not that it couldn't be or in the realm of possibility. It's happening. Go to Twitter. All the videos are on Twitter, Nick.
You know why I did
All
that?
the videos are on Twitter.
Sorry, I did that pretext because basically I'm kind of being mama a little bit if I really examine it, because I want you to speak clearly. Like, I don't want you to think like I'm going to deny a genocide. And so don't think that of me. Maybe I'm kind of being mama, to be quite honest. So let me be clear what I'm asking you. Let me be clear what I'm saying, I guess, is let me just ask you simply. How do you know? I just don't know it's a genocide. How do you know it is? Help me understand. Because you said it's happening. How do you know for sure it is? And then you did answer. You said it's on Twitter. You saw videos. I've also seen Twitter videos of... Sorry, say again.
Human Rights Watch. You could go up to their website. You can go up to, the Red Cross, the ICC, International Criminal Court, that wants to...
You know what the ICC... My friend, the ICC says America, and I could be wrong about this. Let me look it up. But I'm pretty sure the ICC says that America and Great Britain are committing human rights, blah, blah, blah. You understand? You want to you're telling me we want to trust these are the people we're putting in. It's the same as the people who don't want the Jews to control our speech with anti-Semitism and all that. I'm going far as I don't want anybody to do it. And it sounds like it's enough for you for a council of people who would say the same thing to you and America and Americans and call them genocidal and human rights, blah, blah, blah. It seems like that's enough for you. Are you following me so far?
It's not that it's enough for me, right? It's not.
I need a little bit more.
Because I'm telling you, I have friends, I don't want to say that, but, I know people that are Palestinian now, all right? And they know they have ties to their family back over there, right? So I get that, some of the information from them.
I understand.
And I say, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? What do you think is going to happen? That sort of thing, Nick.
And that's why I appreciate that, man. I appreciate this call.
What they feel is not that the U.S. is doing enough or they should stop funding and stuff like that. I'm just trying to show to you what's going on as a genocide. Yeah. And we should be, as a group of Christian watchers that we want to claim that we are, we should support we should support a ceasefire now. Not tomorrow, now. And actually implement a two-state solution if that's the case. But, either side is not going to be okay with anything. But the U.S. UN should intervene and should stop this genocide that's going on. Because at least the statistic right now is 29,000 women and children have been killed. I don't see them. I don't think they were wanted to, strap their boots and go fight a war that doesn't concern them. I have kids, right? I've seen these videos, man. I cannot imagine being a parent and witnessing that sort of destruction that's going on and that in their homeland. What I think that the Israel government is doing, they're overusing their force to wipe out these people off their homeland, man. But that's
well, yes, Gunner, man. I just want to let you express yourself there at the end. And I appreciate it, man. I hope everyone was listening. I got a chance to work some things out there. And, man, anything else you want to talk about here before we move the wheels?
No, man. I'll catch you short tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Call me. Right on, sir. Call me again.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Very nice. Look at all these calls. And we did the important things on the show today. I have nothing else for y'all. I'll leave all the fun stuff for tomorrow. You don't want to miss the flight. We're taking off 4 p.m. Pacific time. Anchor Baby Airlines. And I'm getting a couple of super chats here. Thank you, Harmony. This may have been from yesterday. Well, hold on. I appreciate the support. What's up, Rumble, DJT 2020? Rock on. Thank you, sir. Hi, DLive. DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. We're going to keep it rocking here in the last 15 minutes of the show. Let me get to... Maze, Ohio. How you doing, Maze? Thank you for calling my show.
Hello, Nick. I was listening to you interpret to your mother yesterday.
Hey, wait, I'll hold on for a second while you get your phone. Is it up to your ear again?
Yes, my phone is up to my ear.
Thank you. You're so much clearer now. You saw the episode with my mom and my sisters?
Yes. When you were interpreting.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Can she speak English?
My mother, she does not speak it very well.
can't understand?
I'd say she understands quite a bit. Yes,
Okay.
she understands quite a bit, I'd say.
Because you did not interpret everything to her that Jesse was saying.
No, I didn't. And in fact, there was a lot that I could see, and I've always known this too, and it seems to have even gotten better over the years, how much she can understand. I could see it in her face. In fact, she even responded to some things with no translation needed. She was like, they asked her, would you obey your husband? She's like, nope. I was like, no translation needed for that one.
Okay, so she understood some things.
I bet you no, I'm sure, and she said, in fact, but I'm sure she understands quite a bit. If
Can she read?
Yes. She can read it. She can read it. I think worse than she could understand it, but I'd say she reads it pretty well. Like we were watching Apocalypto, and she could read all the subtitles and fast, and they were in English.
Okay. Well, that's when I was trying to explain to the person I was talking to yesterday about when the Africans came over here, they were not dumb, but there was a lot that they had to make sure that they didn't learn how to read the English language. They knew how to read Arabic, but they couldn't read the English language because they were smart when they got here. And with that one, and then when you come to Israel and Palestine.
Can I say? Wait, do you want to move on to something else? Can I say something about speaking English and my mom and stuff? You're saying that people who just because they don't understand language doesn't mean they're dumb or something?
Yes.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
But
I mean, I don't know if you wanted to, I guess because you felt like you really needed to make that point. I'll say this, maybe out of rebellion, maybe I'm just being immature, Maze, but allow me to do this. You know, I personally believe that my mother, the reason she doesn't speak English, and this is an interesting thing to consider for immigrants that may be here for a long time and they don't speak English, and you wonder why not. I look at my mother; she's like a classy lady. She likes speaking Spanish in a very high level. She expresses herself very well, and she just doesn't like not being able to express herself in English. And she gets like a bad feeling about it. She feels, and she just doesn't like sounding stupid. But tell me, answer this: what's stupider? Going like being embarrassed and then not working that out, or just confronting it and becoming proficient in all ways, like she loves to be in. That's just kind of. It's just like an ego thing.
Because some of the kids can't speak Spanish.
But no, my mom's not stupid. That's for sure.
Some of the kids can't.
My mother's not stupid.
That's what's stupid, because they did not learn the language of their ancestors. That's the problem. And if you go into a different country,
wait, what?
You know to speak the language that they're speaking, know what they're saying or doing?
All my mother's children speak English and Spanish.
Okay, well that's good, but all of them don't. Because I knew a Spanish teacher, her kids didn't know nothing about Spanish, couldn't even speak a lick.
Well, right
and
on.
she was a teacher. That was her fault.
Interesting.
But anyway,
fascinating. Okay, go on. You had something else to say?
But anyway, I like to communicate to people with the language that they speak. That's what I like doing. Not them for the language that they speak.
Do you speak any other languages?
Yes, I do.
Oh, nice.
So what is
Polyglot Maze. That's very cool.
Huh?
A polyglot speaks many languages.
So let's get back to the UN.
Okay.
And the people over in Israel that's protesting. Those are not Palestinians protesting, are they?
The ones at the camp, like in America, like protesting in the streets?
No, the ones over in Israel.
Oh, my bad. So there's the young people protesting in Israel. Are you asking me if they're Palestinian?
No, I said they are protesting. Why?
I'm not sure. I mean, young people in Israel, I mean, I can't say I know too much about that. I don't know if I've ever even seen a headline about that, but I imagine they might be.
They're protesting. So, and then if you look at Palestine, which they put the Israelis on Palestine property, didn't they? In 1947. I think
that's personally, if you ask me, pretty much settled. They want to duke it out, and it seems a little less settled lately. But I'd say that World War II settled it, and it's Israel.
No. I'm saying they're settlements. They move. If somebody puts you, like say Mexico.
The settlements. After they made Israel and they started putting their settlements in what was the Palestinian land or so, whatever at that time.
Yes.
Go ahead. What were you saying about that?
I'm saying it's like the Alamo was part of Mexico, and then it's over in America now. So do you think they need to come back over here?
Well, what do you mean? What's your point about the Alamo? Really? It's again with even with Texas and Mexico. Again, that was settled. Yeah. They had a war about it. They had the Hidalgo Guadalupe Treaty for California, and then it's done. So are you saying that that's Mexican? Are you saying Texas should be Mexico? Should be given back to Mexico?
Alamo should.
Really?
Yeah.
What else do you think should be given back?
And I think that if America was supposed to be protecting, when they put them on that land and the spot that they put them, it's all that they should have. And
Okay. What else?
I think this way. If
What
Palestine
else?
should
What else
have
do you think should be given
China
back?
or somebody, if they should have China or somebody backing them because they don't have anybody, keep screaming about a two-state solution. Then I heard one politician saying that it should be a resort over there instead of just pushing them out and put a resort there. What kind of sense does that make?
Some people are. I don't know. I think some politicians may think they're. They may be thinking that sounds tough or something. Like I'm a big tough guy.
That's what it is.
But hey, hey, can you tell him he's not tough when that's what they're doing and they're pushing people out and the world can't tell them no? I mean, it sounds pretty tough to me.
But the UN said everybody's telling them no, but
yet they remain.
Mm-hmm. Well, if
Sounds
be
pretty
different
tough.
things, they have.
But wait, Maze, can I ask you a question real quick? What else do you think should be given back? You said it sounds like a lot of things should be given back. Land should be given back. Texas should be given back to the Mexicans because that's Mexican land.
A lot of people that left their country come over here.
Israel, the new great Israel, new grand Israel that will be created should be given back to Palestine because it's Palestinian land. What else should be given back?
Everything that was taken from different places.
Everything, all of it.
Should be put back into its original stage.
And what was the original stage?
And everybody would be in their own countries, and you wouldn't have the ones over here screaming and hollering about somebody coming to my country.
And what was the original? What was the original? How was it all set up originally, and how do we go back?
How do you go back? You might be going back to it and don't know it.
That's funny. Yeah, you might be right about that. Well, Maze, it's I gotta say that doesn't quite make sense. Don't you agree? Doesn't quite make sense. You're talking about giving all this stuff back.
But Nick, who owns most of the stuff in America?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Help me understand. What? Huh? Who owns most of the stuff? What stuff? Like now it's just too vague. I don't know what you mean, Maze.
So all the factories and they send everything abroad and everywhere else. So now who owns it?
Who owns what? Who owns the factories? I don't know. I'm not up on this.
Ham.
Give me a clue.
I can say your ham. Let me say I can say your ham, your food you eat, your furniture, your everything. That's why everything breaks down because we don't own nothing. We don't make nothing.
No, in fact, our economy. Yeah, you're right about this. I was reading about how our economy is so full of services, and we don't make anything. We don't have like resources. Like we don't produce like primary resources or even second, something like that. And that Russia.
Yeah, you're talking about land.
But wait,
who's buying the land over here, and who's selling it to them? We're not doing it. But you're arguing about what color is doing what to what, but then you're not thinking about yourself. I mean, what's going to happen to this country when it don't belong to this country anymore? What would the people do then? I guess they'll lose their man.
But Maze,
it sounds like
you're not. But Maze, it almost sounds like you don't appreciate. Did you have a nice childhood, or you know what I mean? You like grew up?
Had a nice childhood,
and we all have our ups and downs, but you lived a relatively good life in America, no?
Excuse me?
I said we all have our ups and downs and all that, but would you say you had a relatively good life in America growing up, etc.?
I had a relatively good life in America, and when I left America too, I had a good life.
And you want to give that back to who? It sounds like you're not even. And you want to give that back to who? You want to give that? You're saying you had a relatively good life growing up. You're pretty appreciative, and you want to give that land back to who?
To whoever it belonged to.
But it sounds like you're not appreciative of.
No, y'all not appreciative of. Y'all not appreciative because everything is like what America needs to do, and America is like you're fighting against your own country because you don't own anything in it anymore, and you don't understand it.
Well, that may be true, Maze, but that can't be logical what you're saying, right? Giving up.
Well, yes, it is logical too.
Giving it to whoever had it before, like you're assuming that person deserved it.
They do deserve to keep their own land.
And so, who was the first owner of America and the land?
Native Americans.
How you know that?
Do I have to?
Don't laugh. How do you know that?
Have you ever been to Indian reservation?
You said we got to give it back to the native. Okay, let's go there. You said, have I ever been to an Indian reservation? You asked me if I ever been to an Indian reservation. I've been to I've been to the Canadian res.
I'm saying America.
And guess what? Okay, but it's similar. And you know what I saw over there? Lots of different types of Indians.
You saw different types of Indians. Just
So
like
who do we give it back to, Maze?
Back to the Native Americans.
Which one?
Whatever tribe they came from.
Okay, so we break it all up and give it back to, we just make it very tiny territories and break it all up to to all the different natives?
Yes.
Oh. Dang,
What's wrong with
Maze.
that?
That sounds crazy. It sounds
Crazy
radical.
to you as a heathen, of course it would.
It sounds radical. But what do you got to say about this? What do you got to say about this? What about, do we also give back, what about this? Do we also give back the land to those Indians who were happy that the Europeans came?
Well, I haven't found any that was happy.
You didn't know that? You didn't know that? What about, did you know the Mayans were more peaceful and they were quite happy? The Aztecs were handled by the Spanish? They were like, thank you. We were being cannibalized and sacrificed by these Aztecs. Thank you, white people. Did you know that?
Sure, Nick. Whatever you say.
You don't believe that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. No, I haven't seen one that was happy.
Well,
put them on a reservation. And then
they were so happy they made babies together.
What?
They called them Métis, the Métis people of Canada.
Well, right. Mm-hmm.
They were, in fact, so happy that they mixed. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Maze. Is there anything else? Wait, go ahead. Ask me a question.
Everybody can go back from all these wars. If you study war, that's what you're gonna. That's where your mind goes. You study war, go take something that don't belong to you, for you to have it and rule it and act as if it was yours.
Yeah, but you're pretending like as if the person. But you're pretending like as if the person who in this hypothetical scenario, which happened in history, obviously, but you're pretending like this culture who got taken over wouldn't do the exact same thing if they had the chance.
I don't think they would.
You're acting like they wouldn't do the exact same thing.
You got people want to go and start their own country.
You don't think those people would do the exact same thing, Maze?
I don't think so. No, if they don't have, everybody don't have that in their heart to do stuff like that.
Well, guess what? That's what these kind little Indians were doing. That's what these poor little oppressed Indians that were oppressed and pushed by the white man. Guess what? That's what they were up to.
Yeah, that's what the heathens do. And to have the ways of the heathen, you gonna act like the heathens. But everybody don't have those feelings and do those things.
Well, Maze, I thank you for calling me. It's an absolute pleasure, as always.
And so you have a good one.
Call me again, Maze.
Yes.
Take care. 888-775-3773. Having fun with these calls. I got 3 of you left. I don't know what to do. Who do I take? We're going to do the one who was waiting the most. And you got a minute or two, my friend. Hector out of Los Angeles. Thank you, sir. You're on the air.
Yo, Anchor Baby.
How you doing, sir?
Loving it.
Thank you, man.
So I'm going to be the extremist on your show today.
Okay, bring it.
Nuke both of them and let them fight for the radiation land.
I did something. Oh, fight for the radiation land? It's going to be tough. But if you really love that land, you say you love that land, right?
It was promised to you. Here you go.
It's all irradiated, you say.
No, just to comment as well on the guy that was talking before Maze from Ohio. That guy kept telling you that you need to feel bad for them because he's a beta. And I just think that a lot of people who put emotion into this, because I used to be like that, right wing, left wing, blah blah blah. But now it's like, dude, that is such a waste of energy, realistically speaking. And it's tiresome. I'm like, dude, there's times where I see people argue and complain, and a lot of the times what they do, they end up fighting for BS. And it reminds me of a quote that I remember I read from Thomas Sowell that said, activism is a way for useless people to feel important. And I think that resonates more even now than when he said it before, because all the things that they do are counterproductive to society. It doesn't help their cause, whether it's for Israel, whether it's for Palestine.
So true. Go on. I'm cutting you off because I'm excited.
Oh yeah. No. It's just really, it's funny to see people do that. And then another thing that I remember I heard from Larry Elder is like, your rights stop when it impedes on the rights of other people. So right here I live by USC, so they blocked off everything. Yeah. And everybody was mad. I was like, what should we do? I was like, well, their rights are over where they cut yours off. And people were thinking like, well, what should we do? I was like, just keep driving. The roads aren't for walking; they're for cars. And everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. And
Yeah.
then things started dying down. I was like, see, I told you. It just took like 2-3 people that went through by sheer force, and they dispersed for the simple reason that that's what you have to do.
I think you got to understand what Hector's saying here. It's not like he wants people like go run over someone. That's not what he's saying.
No.
It's just like when you see these just stop oil and they stop the traffic. Like it just takes someone to say no and move them out of the way. Well, obviously law enforcement and all that, but it would literally stop.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah,
sir.
I know that was my only 2 cents.
Right on,
today.
Hector. Appreciate your call, sir. Call me again.
Thank you, Nick. Bye-bye.
Say hi to the little one. Yeah. I'm not going to nuke them. I disavow. But I say the Europeans get these Semites under control, okay? Maybe not just any European. Trump. All right, folks, that's the show. And I appreciate you holding for a while there. Sorry I couldn't get to all of you. Call me tomorrow. I'm live, 4 p.m. actually. I definitely want to get to you guys, Maze. You guys want to talk about Maze? Hopefully you can call me again, maybe even Monday when I'm back in here for American Anchor Baby. But that's it from the Anchor Baby. Appreciate it, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow for Nick Stream Fridays, taking off American Anchor Baby, Anchor Baby Airlines and all that. Take care. See you tomorrow. Appreciate it. Peace.